tech. This is one of Bjork's music apps. It's part of her Biophilia project and tour, which lasted for 3 years. Now recently, we visited her musical director, Matt Robertson, in his studio to discuss the evolution of Bjork's instruments and what they mean for performance.
I shuffle around.
I was working closely with Bjork and with the sort of technical team to come up with ways that some of her custom instruments could be controlled and also live musicians interact with that on stage. The Reactable is a visual synthesizer, I think is the best way to describe it. The user's got lots of different blocks and patterns that you can make on it that create different electronic sounds. So depending on the blocks that you put on it, the orientation of the blocks and the order of the blocks, you get different sounds coming out of it. One of the things with playing something like a piano or an organ is that your hands tend to fall in particular shapes when you sit down and play it. Actually, wouldn't it be fun if there was a note down here and a note up there and then a bunch in the middle that you'd never really be able to reach, and then they all happen really quickly? So Bjork had some pipe organs made for her. The idea was integrating the sort of acoustic instrument and the electronic control. There are little solenoid motors underneath every key so that you can remote control it, basically. We had 2 pipe organs on tour and also what we called a gamma est. It does give you a kind of different sound world. Does it make you actually compose things differently? I'm not exactly sure. Does it open up a whole load of possibilities that you didn't have before that you can then choose to use or not use? Absolutely yes. For me, I think it's really important that when you see a gig, there are aspects of it that you're kind of in awe of and aspects that you're kind of like, wow, I've never seen that before. So in the Bjork show, with the huge pendulum harps that were on stage, when they actually start moving and you hear what's happening and you get some kind of sense that actually these really big things are making this really amazing harp pluck sound, I think it does sort of help that level of interaction. I think a key thing is to be inspired by the instruments that you have, and if the interface with computers can be made sort of more interactive and more intuitive and quicker and more fun, then I think you're going to be more inspired by the sounds that you're creating and by extension write more interesting music.
Craving miracles.